expectation, and he knew shit could get bad for him. Of course, he prayed for the best, but, hope for the best. And he even had a few more mishaps in between, with the beam on and all that type of shit, but he got past all that.
Like, trips to prison, trips to jail, getting arrested does not look good for you. And the fact that you've had similar charges in the past and, other videos and other arrests and mugshots, it just don't look good. It looks like almost like a repeat offender.
With domestic violence, his hands are registered. His hands are considered deadly weapons. Right. So he is going to be considered like assault with a deadly weapon as well, other than domestic violence.
Is this the end for Gervonta Davis? With fresh legal troubles once again making headlines, fans are beginning to wonder if his career is nearing its breaking point. Davis has previously acknowledged needing therapy and seemed aware of his personal struggles. Yet now, with marquee matchups like a potential bout against Devin Haney left unfulfilled, he appears to be teetering on the edge of walking away from boxing. His repeated run-ins with the law could cost him not just key opportunities, but his legacy and possibly his entire career.
Right, so Tank is on probation for that. So this will be a violation of his probation. But he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this: what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Bell Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm finna show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcast that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasts, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, boxing superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up woman.
In professional sports, athletes are expected to uphold high standards both inside and outside the ring. For Gervonta Davis, recent incidents, particularly those involving the mother of his child, have once again placed his personal life under scrutiny. Even non-violent confrontations can have serious consequences when a public figure is involved. When someone with Davis's platform is seen as misusing their influence or stature, the backlash is swift and severe. Given the recurring nature of these incidents and the people involved, this situation has drawn significant public concern and media attention.
Of bodily harm to her. Davis was arrested about an hour after the alleged incident and booked on a domestic violence battery charge. Jail records show he's still in police custody. Davis is scheduled to fight Hector Luis Garcia in a much-anticipated boxing match on January 7th in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's not happening. I mean, it's not going to happen, bro. He's not going to fight.
That fight probably canceled.
The fight's going to cancel in his sponsorship. If he's fought, you can't find him guilty right now. I'm assuming he's going to get a great lawyer. He has money.
Do we know who the woman is? Because I saw some headlines that said baby mama. And I know what we just read didn't it wasn't specific.
That's what I thought it said too.
Like yesterday, right? When the reports came out.
And that's not even just a domestic violence. His hands are registered. His hands are considered deadly weapons.
Right.
So he is going to be considered like assault with a deadly weapon as well, other than domestic violence. And that never goes good for a boxer, ever.
For it to be domestic violence, though, one thing that Flacco taught me suspect was that if it says domestic violence, then that's somebody that you were in a relationship.
You didn't know that?
No.
Throughout his career, Davis has navigated legal and personal challenges with the help of financial resources and legal counsel. But this time feels different. The frequency and similarity of recent incidents suggest a troubling pattern, prompting the justice system and even his longtime supporters to consider a more serious stance. In legal proceedings, repeat offenses often carry weight, potentially leading to harsher consequences. The concern now is that the road Davis once navigated with relative ease may no longer offer such leniency.
This couldn't come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach, and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of being assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcements. Why has there been no official announcements? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely, and the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. What might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed to be rattled and emotional after the draw. It's either a combination for a great performance or a combination for an absolute train crash.
Moments like this often force reflection, and many see this as a defining period in Davis's life. While adversity can be a catalyst for growth, there's growing doubt that past experiences have led to meaningful change. Observers note a lack of visible personal evolution, and the recurrence of similar behavior only reinforces that view. Without a clear shift in mindset and accountability, these ongoing issues could impact not only his boxing future but his ability to maintain healthy relationships and responsibilities beyond the sport.
Jason, he knew shit could get bad for him. Of course, he prayed for the best, hope for the best. And he even had a few more mishaps in between with the baby mom and all that type of shit. But he got past all that. But that shows his maturity level too, because he kept his head together through all that shit. You know what I mean? So here we at the finishing line with the trouble. I just want him to finish smart, and, you know what I mean? And do what he gotta do. Get what he gotta get, you know what I mean?
Given the nature of the current charges and their resemblance to past incidents, the legal implications are becoming more serious. When allegations repeat over time, the legal system is less likely to extend leniency. Experts suggest that the presiding judge may take a tougher stance if the evidence aligns, seeing the pattern as justification for stricter consequences. In the world of professional sports, such outcomes don't just tarnish public image, they can jeopardize sponsorships, derail career opportunities, and permanently damage reputations.
Boxing champion Gervonta Tank Davis has been arrested and charged with battery in South Florida. Police allege the Baltimore native assaulted his ex-girlfriend during an argument on Father's Day in Doral, Florida. Davis was arrested and booked by Miami Beach police, and the judge set his bond at $10,000. This is the latest in a long line of run-ins with law enforcement for the World Boxing Association lightweight champ. In 2023, Davis pleaded guilty to 4 traffic offenses in connection with a hit and run that injured 4 people in Baltimore. He spent more than 6 weeks in jail after a judge found out he was serving out his home detention at the Four Seasons Hotel Baltimore and a penthouse condo in Locust Point. Davis has also previously faced allegations of domestic violence, though none of those cases against him have resulted in convictions. We have more on this story on thebaltimorebanner.com.
Some within the boxing world believe that the unrelenting pressure of the sport is taking a deeper toll on Davis. The combination of demanding training, constant media attention, and the expectation to stay mentally sharp leaves little space for emotional recovery. For a young athlete balancing fame with personal turmoil, it's not surprising if that pressure has begun clouding his judgment. Supporters hope that, whether through time away from the ring or proper support systems, Davis can regain the clarity and stability he needs to move forward, both in his career and personal life.
Gervonta Davis just got arrested for domestic violence, but this isn't the first time either. Could this have anything to do with what boxing does to your brain? Let's talk about it. So Gervonta Davis has been caught up in legal trouble and domestic violence allegations multiple times over the past few years. See, boxers take repeated hits to the head, not just during their big fights, but while they're sparring throughout training camp as well. Over time, that can cause CTE, a brain disease that messes with memory, emotions, and cause aggression. CTE can show up in the form of slurred speech or even mood changes. So honest question for y'all is, do you think Gervonta Davis' violence outside of the ring could be linked to CTE? Is this a hidden cause of boxing? I want to hear your thoughts.
Public opinion is often shaped by patterns, and in Gervonta Davis's case, that pattern is raising concern. Fans and observers have voiced growing disappointment over the recurring issues in his personal life. The concern isn't solely about isolated incidents, but also about his continued involvement in relationships that seem to bring legal and reputational consequences. From a career standpoint, long-term personal associations must be carefully weighed. When a connection repeatedly results in turmoil and headlines, it affects everything from fight negotiations to sponsorships. Supporters are hoping Davis exercises stronger judgment for the sake of his career and well-being.
Gervonta Davis is back on the news, and y'all know I'm a Tank fan, but at this point, dude, I can't even support this guy no more. Gervonta Davis arrested at 3:35 a.m. in the morning in Miami for battery and domestic violence charges. I've seen stuff like this from Tank in the past, and everybody try to look past it, but dude, what are we doing? You got everything in the world, all the money, mega fights, you got all the money, you never have to worry about anything ever in the rest of your life. Why are we doing this? Like, I understand he's from a tough background and everything, but at some point you gotta grow up. You're arguably the biggest name in boxing with all these people looking up to you, especially kids looking up to you, talking about, I want to be like Gervonta Davis, and this is what they see. I don't know what went down, but I see the news article and I just can't support Tank no more. My favorite damn fighter, one of them besides Terrence Crawford. But I don't know what y'all think about the whole situation. I'm just like, man, what are we doing? I guess we're not going to get the Lamont Roach fight now. I don't know. I know he was on probation before, and it was going to be another great fight. And it's just crazy, man. But what do y'all think about this? And you guys think he actually did it? And are you guys still going to support Tank after this?
Gervonta Davis has often spoken about wanting to be more than just a boxing champion. He shared aspirations to grow personally, to be a better father, and occasionally hinted at walking away from the sport to seek a more peaceful life. While those thoughts have remained largely speculative, his current situation could revive that desire for a different path. Whether or not he returns to boxing, the choices he makes in the coming months will shape his legacy not just as a fighter, but as a man. His next steps could redefine how the world remembers him.
What's good, YouTube? Pound Rule from Pound Rule Boxing. Back with a gem. Checked out the press conference yesterday. Watched the Rise podcast. 2 days ago, watched the Rise podcast response to it yesterday. And I just have to say, I see a lot of people think that Tank is bluffing with the retirement talk. Could be. I doubt it though. And I'm gonna tell you why I doubt it. When he talked about wanting to seek therapy and the person he has to be in order to be the fighter that he is, and wanting to be a softer person, for his daughters, wanting to seek therapy, become a better person, be with his children and lead the limelight. It seemed like a lot of emotional passion in that. It seemed like he really meant what he was saying. There's a lot that comes with not only boxing, because all fighters deal with certain things with being boxing, physically, mentally. But he has to deal with being a celebrity, international star on top of that. And I can't even imagine that pressure. So, things get old, your whole life gets scrutinized, no matter what moves he makes, it's going to be accepted by some and, ridiculed by others. And some people grow tired of it. Living a public life ain't for everybody. He's been tremendously successful, whatever he decides to do. I wish him well. I think we need to, watch this Lamont Roach fight closely because we've seen this in the past. When Mike Tyson talked about his heart no longer being in it. Or, you heard Buddy McGirt recently come out and say, the fire left him, while he was in camp in the middle of a run. I mean, it happens, and we don't know how it's going to affect him as a fighter. I would hope, he could find it in himself to be motivated and get prepared, and be the best version of himself. Because, as a Tank fan, I don't want to see him in the ring in any other capacity. If he can't bring himself to be the best version of himself, then I think he should walk away. But regardless of what he decides to do for people like myself,
Some analysts have started questioning whether Davis's long-standing relationship with the mother of his child is ultimately healthy for either of them. Over the past 4 years, their connection has repeatedly resulted in public and legal complications. When a relationship becomes a source of repeated disruption, both personally and professionally, it raises red flags for not only families but also for management teams. Many voices in the boxing world are suggesting the same thing. If the cycle continues unchanged, separation may be the necessary path toward growth and stability.
Boxing sensation Gervonta Davis has been arrested on domestic violence charges. And this is not the first time that he has been here. I'm not sure if it's with the same young lady. Her name is Vanessa, who he shares a daughter with, and I believe she was carrying another child with him. This situation is just sad because, when you're a boxer, your hands are legal. So you're not supposed to be getting into brawl fights with anybody unless you're in the ring, because his hands are considered legally a weapon. And if you ever seen him fight, you know that this boy hits hard. So him hitting a female, it's like, whoa. But yet again, we don't know people's situations. Even though it's never okay to hit a female, we just don't know what happened between these two folks. I think that after this, he should just leave that girl alone, because if this is with her again, this is the second time that he gets arrested for domestic dispute with the same girl. And I just don't think that they should be together. Somebody that's with you is supposed to bring the best out of you, not the worst. If you're constantly in a situation where you're arguing, fighting, putting your hands, you feel like a monster with somebody, then maybe that person, you shouldn't be with them. But prayers for Gervonta, because even though he is in the wrong, you know, we don't know what wars, what demons people are fighting in the inside, and you could clearly see that he was very upset. If there's more information on the story, I will be relating, but this just sucks for Gervonta, honestly. It's like, he has it all. The money, the fame, biggest boxer in the game right now, but he's always in legal problems, and especially for domestic issues. This is just sad.
As Davis's next court date nears, many within the industry are watching closely. The repetition of similar incidents has cast a shadow over his professional credibility. In boxing, where public image heavily influences fight opportunities and sponsorships, legal issues can become more than a short-term distraction, they can derail entire careers. With each new controversy, it becomes harder for fans and promoters to separate Davis's talent from his personal choices. This upcoming legal ruling won't just decide the outcome of a single case, it could determine the trajectory of his future in the sport.
Transpired, I don't know any of the details. This is the information that is available to us as of this recording. So again, I'm saying unfortunate news because Tank Davis is scheduled to fight, and he's scheduled to fight in 11 days, and it's almost midnight my time, Pacific Standard Time. So that means really 10 days. Does this affect in any way, will this affect Tank Davis and his fight? You know, I don't know. I don't know all the details, but we've seen stuff like this happen before in the past, and since it's so fresh, today being December 27th, I don't think it will impact or, you know, postpone the fight or anything like that, because it'll be too quick to go to trial or anything like that. However, some would wonder, could this affect him mentally, right? You left Mayweather Promotions, you're your own boss, doing your own thing, so this is your first foray into that. You have a difficult Olympian in terms of Hector Luis Garcia that you're getting ready to fight, a little bit taller and bigger than you, and you know, now you have something in the background. This, I can't say it's news to Gervonta Davis in terms of him having little run-ins, because he had a run-in with some type of vehicular hit and run.
In the days before his latest controversy surfaced, Davis was noticeably active on social media, sharing cryptic and introspective posts. Some interpreted them as subtle signals of an impending crisis, while others saw them as a way to control the narrative before the news broke. Social platforms have increasingly become tools for athletes to shape public perception, but while posts may offer insight into their mindset, they cannot replace real accountability. Meaningful change comes from actions, not captions. The public will be watching to see if Davis follows his words with tangible transformation.
Hey yo, Gervonta Davis is getting locked up again, my people. He posted about a lawyer and said, still haven't helped me with my case. Shaking my head, then posted, treated me like I done bodied somebody. I can't do nothing. The last time I went to court, the city tried to find me for $25K. Damn, $25K? What you do, my boy? And if they treat you like you bodied somebody, then you definitely getting locked up, my boy. This must be what Lamont Roach was trying to tell us when he said Gervonta Davis will cancel the fight, my people. He said, laugh out loud. Buddy, no, damn well, I don't mess around like that. He gassing y'all up to justify why he ain't doing his part of the deal yet. He really might pull out of this fight. Stay tuned. Is this what he meant about Gervonta Davis pulling out the fight? Because he might be getting locked up, my people. He got this court problems that he has to resolve, so he hasn't even done his part yet. He's doing all the talking on Instagram. He's doing all the talking on Twitter. This is what Lamont Roach saying. He's doing all the talking everywhere else, but it's just to justify the reason that he might not even show up to the fight. He might have to pull out and cancel that fight, my people. We all know Gervonta Davis has had several legal issues, you feel me? Allegedly, my people. Hopefully, this ain't one, because in boxing, I don't know if we really care about that. We just want to see the fight happen, you feel me? We don't care about all the shenanigans. So all I'm saying is that hopefully he ain't getting locked up, because we want to see that rematch. We don't want nobody getting locked up, you know what I'm saying? We want you in the ring. We want you to get that get back. And if he don't get that get back, it's like his excuse. He trying to go to jail on purpose. Don't be posting about the court online, my boy. Do what you gotta do, resolve that, and get back to the gym and do this rematch with Lamont Roach. But this would be an upset for everybody if it ends up being canceled, because he has to go to court, or he has to go back to getting locked up, or he gotta pay some type of fines, because there's always something, my people. And Lamont Roach kind of hint at that, you feel me? He let us know. Yo, my man talking, but he ain't do his part of the deal yet. And it's been a couple months, and everybody's saying the fight is for sure. But how Lamont Roach saying that your boy didn't do the other part of the deal yet? How does that even happen?
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for further updates. Until next time.